Hey guys, welcome to Careertainment again. You remember in an earlier video, we discussed that to perform best in your workplace or in anything that you do, the various layers of your body need to be aligned properly. And you need to work on each of them individually and specifically so that they are aligned properly. Now, what are those layers? We looked at it with an example of the babushka doll. The outermost layer, we called it the food sheath, or the Annamaya Kosha, below which is the Paranamaya Kosha, or the breath sheath, below which is the Manomaya Kosha, or the mind sheath, or the mind layer, and within which is the intellect Kosha, or the Vigyanmaya Kosha, and finally the Anadmaya Kosha, or the bliss sheath. Now, these were the 5 layers that we talked about, and if these are aligned correctly, then you perform the best in your workplace. Now, why that happens is very simple. There is one supreme source of energy which comes from the outer universe and gets plugged into your body, and that energy then translates into whatever you do in your sport, in your workplace, or anything. Now, if your layers are not aligned, then there's a lot of dissipation of that energy. And that's the reason why they say that to align your layers correctly, you align your personality and individuality so that that supreme energy translates without much dissipation very efficiently into your workspace, right? That's what is actually happening. I can actually explain it very nicely with a simple bicycle lock. Now, if this were the energy source and if this were your body, it cannot be easily plugged in till all these layers are properly aligned. Right, so let's try to do that. So if let's say I align the final layer, it'll go in a little more. If I align the next layer a little more, maybe look at the third layer, then a little more, and then finally the last layer, and then it plugs in properly. So that's how the energy source plugs in very beautifully with your body, and then you start performing well. So I thought we'll do just one more short video before we move into the specific process of working on each of these layers, because what actually happens many times is that because the way the koshas or the layers are structured, you feel the importance is misconstrued. For example, the largest layer represented by this doll is that of the Annamaya Kosha, or the food sheath, and rightly so. You always look at your body, right, all the time, and you feel this is the most important layer. Well, it is an important layer, but quite honestly, the scope or the range of this layer is very limited. After all, you try to stretch your skin, it's not going to stretch beyond a couple of millimeters, at best half an inch, right? So the scope is very limited physically. But if you look at the next layer, which is the Paranamaya Kosha, the scope of this layer is slightly more wider than that. Like you can feel your breath for a couple of inches, right? And if there are yogis like, let's say, a Baba Ramdev or somebody like that, then they can really throw their breath far, and therefore the scope of the Paranamaya Kosha and the range in which it operates is slightly wider than that. Next is the Manomaya Kosha. Now, the range of this is immense. You could actually sit down and meditate and go to any corner of the world, universe, earth, galaxy, whatever is known to you, you can actually throw your mind to that level. So the scope of this is immense, and you need to, when we come to this sheath and start working on this sheath, you'll understand why it's the most important. And again, the next sheath, the Vigyanmaya Kosha, or the intellect sheath, the scope of this is even wider. This even goes to the unknown and unimaginable extent. For example, inventors actually work from this sheath. Imagine the guy in the Stone Ages who chiseled out a wheel from a stone. He was working from the Vigyanmaya Kosha, right? So this is a very important sheath, and the scope of this is huge. And then finally, the Anadmaya Kosha. Well, this is a universal scope, because this sheath of yours, it actually matches your true nature. Your true nature is happiness. So the Anandamaya Kosha, or the happiness sheath, actually matches your true nature. So there's no scope definition of this layer. So when you start working on this, you will come to know. So I thought we'll do one small short video before we move on to the actual process. And the process that we will follow is we'll take up each sheath at a time and divide it into 2 steps. In one step, we will look at what is the sheath made up of, and in the next sheath, we will look look at how to work on that so that it gives you the best results, so that you perform better in your workplace or in anything that you do. Till we meet again, I'll see you with each individual step. I hope you're subscribing to the channel so that you come to know and you're notified when that happens. Till then, goodbye, take care, and cheers.